Top War released a brand new event, Lucky Numbers, but that's a lie because no one is lucky in Top War. But we'll go over real quick how the event works, we'll go ahead and talk about the rates and whether or not this event is worth doing, and then we'll compare it to Flippy because there's a lot of speculation that this event may be replacing Flippy card. You'll notice at the beginning of the event you have 3 numbers surrounding a chest on your screen. These numbers will always start at 1, and you'll notice at the bottom of the screen there is a math problem, and all those numbers surrounding that chest are multiplied by each other to equal the final number, which is the experience bar above the chest. You are able to raise the value of these numbers, thus increasing the number in your reward bar by spending gems. You'll notice at the bottom you can buy 1 number or you can buy 10 numbers. Now when you buy a number, it will increase the value of one of these 3 numbers by anywhere between 1 and 3. It should be noted that if you do 1 draw, it costs you 90 gems, but if you do 10, it's 880 gems, meaning you're only saving 20 gems by doing a 10 pull. Thanks for your generosity, Top War. Also, for each number you get, you will get a random reward. These rewards are shown in the information tab, and you can see what you are likely to get based on what number you got, whether it be 1, 2, or 3. Now, once the reward bar fills up, you are able to click the chest in the middle of the screen to be able to obtain the reward that's inside that chest. For each checkpoint that you hit, these checkpoints are at 20, 100, 400, 2,000, 10,000, 30,000, and 100,000. Once you reach 100,000, the entire round resets and all your numbers go back down to 1, and your grand reward changes to a different reward. Also, the rewards for the chest in the middle of the screen are always either going to be universal orange shards or related to the grand reward in some way. Martin from the Top War community has created a list of what the rewards are for each of the checkpoints for the first 4 rounds, and I'll go ahead and post those in my Twitter and my Discord. You can find a link for that in the description below. But let's get on to the rates and see whether or not this event is worth it. Now, I was able to complete 3 full rounds today. This event does limit how many pulls you are able to do per day. If you did all 10 pulls, it would cost you 26.4 thousand gems. If you did single pulls, it would cost 27,000. Again, the gem savings between 1 and 10 are not significant. However, I recommend doing 10 pulls until you start getting close to the 100,000 mark, and then start doing single pulls, because anything that goes over 100,000 doesn't help you at all. You want to hit 100,000 as close as possible so the round can reset and then you can start all over again. Now, as you've seen so far, there are other rewards other than universal orange shards in this event, but since that's the main focus of this event, that's what we're going to be talking about in terms of rates, especially since there's a chance that this event may be replacing Flippy. Now, the first round, where I was able to get to 100,000 points, I spent a total of 8,300 gems. It gave me 34 shards, which means I paid 244 gems per shard during the first round. The second round, I spent 8,190. I got 31 shards, which means I paid 264 gems per shard. And then the third round, I had my worst luck, where I paid 9,160 gems while only getting 23 shards, which means I paid 398 gems per shard. So the rates can fluctuate on this, but it does seem like it's safe to say you're going to pay anywhere between 8,000 and 9,500 to be able to go from 1 to 100,000 to finish a round, and in the process getting somewhere between 20 and 40 universal orange shards. Now, the reason I'm being pretty wide with these margins is because, again, I was only able to do 3 rounds today because of the daily draw limit, so your rates may change depending on your luck. Maybe I had a really good day, or maybe I had a really bad day. Since this is the first day of the event, it's hard to say. But I am very confident in what I think about this event when compared to Flippy. The thing about Flippy is if you were a budget spender or a free-to-play, maybe you only put 1,000 or a couple thousand gems into Flippy a day, you could easily get universal orange shards for less than 200 gems apiece. However, if you were a whale and you were putting tens of thousands of gems into the event, your cost very quickly went over 400 gems per shard. So while the whales were getting more rewards from that event because they were spending more, it did make them pay more for those rewards, so it did help slow their growth a little bit, making it so the gap wasn't too big. The problem with the Lucky Numbers event is it offers stability, and while stability is usually nice so you can more confidently or more accurately say what you're going to get from an event, what this means is A budget player or a free-to-play player who was getting shards for less than 200 gems apiece is now paying the stable rate of 250 to 300, for example, while the whale, who was putting much more into the event and paying the more expensive rate of 400, is now getting a discount, again, down to that roughly 250 to 300 gems per shard rate. So what this event did, if it is indeed replacing Flippy, is it made things more expensive for budget players or free-to-play players while making things cheaper for the whales. If this is replacing Flippy, it is a catastrophic blow to the game. Hopefully this is just offering some variety to the game and not replacing Flippy. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. And as always, have a fantastic day.